Miguel and Holly reveal Charlotte's deepest and darkest secrets.
It's Queen City Confessions with Miguel and Holly. Hits 96.1.
If you want to confess to us anonymously, just text the word hits with your confession and send it to 96893.
Here's the first Queen City confession. Ever since my husband got a big promotion and started making well into the six figures, he's been a completely different person. The power has gone to his head, and now he's stepping outside of our marriage. He doesn't even try to hide it anymore. I hate what he's become, and honestly, I've thought about getting him fired just to knock him down a peg. Maybe if he wasn't feeling so entitled, he'd come back to reality.
I understand that, but I don't know that that would do what you think it would do.
Right.
What you should do is have a sit down and really talk to him, because also it sounds like he's like having literal personality issues, like disordered thinking. Is the stress too much? Like he can't actually handle what's going on, but also it could just all be going to his head. And you have to put up some very firm boundaries at this point. If you continue to cheat and act this way, I can't stay in this marriage anymore, because this is not a partnership.
I'm curious, has something like this happened before to where your spouse, fiance, or even a friend came into money and it changed them? Like all of a sudden they started acting differently because they felt entitled, like this confessor said? Or how did that money change that person? Call us up, 1-844-HITS-961.
1-844-448-7961, or text hits and your message to 96893.
Here's the next Queen City confession. The other day at a lunch meeting, my boss casually told me that he always picks bigger servers when eating out because he feels like they won't judge him for what he orders. I was completely shocked. He said he even noticed that he orders more food and drinks when he's served by someone heavier because it makes him feel more comfortable indulging. I didn't even know how to respond. It felt so shallow and weird. Now I can't stop thinking about it every time we go out for a work lunch. Who even thinks like that?
Yeah, that's really random.
And
also,
so
how
weird.
do you pick the server? I've never how you're like, hey, seat me in the largest person that you got working here section.
What do you like walk around and you're like, all right, I'm looking for someone over 250 pounds to serve me?
I know, right? And also, that says something way, way more about the person themselves and the way that they think about food and eating and everything else. Like, that's weird.
It's unfortunate that it's your boss.
Yes, because if it was like a friend, you'd be like, maybe let's have a talk about that.
Something's not right here.
But yeah, that's weird.
Here's the last Queen City confession. I can't stand hosting parties with my fiance's friends anymore because they never leave.
Oh,
I've tried everything, hosting day parties so they'd leave earlier, dropping hints, even cleaning up around them. Nothing works. They'll hang out until 2 a.m. like they live there, and I am over it. I'm this close to telling my fiance his friends aren't allowed over anymore, but I know that'll cause a fight. I just don't know what else to do.
You know what? I don't know how to have people leave your house. I don't know. And that's probably one of the reasons we don't have people over that often, because I'm like,
save that.
What do you do? What do you do? So if this person does all the cues and they're on the couch and they're like slap their knees and they're like, well, that's the cue. And I don't know if people don't know that, but that's the cue. But then you start cleaning and they're still there. I don't know what to do.
I mean, my go-to always, and the few times that we do have friends over during the week, because, I go to bed around 8:30.
Right. How do you do it?
So I will always say, well, y'all can hang out, but I have to go to bed. And so usually, because we've had some people over for dinner sometimes where I have the dinner at like 5:30, and I always say I have to go to bed at 8:30, knowing that's why it's early.
Right.
But then they're drinking wine and they're feeling loosey and fun. And then usually when I say, all right, well, I got to start getting ready for bed, that's when people start to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. We need to get up and we need to go. And so I feel like if you have those friends coming over that overstay their welcome, you place that up front and then you start getting ready for bed. And then if I come down and my bonnet and you still sitting up at my house drinking wine, I'm gonna just turn the lights out.
But I guess the question is like, is your husband still out with them? So like this person said they're the fiance's friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you do if the fiance's like, oh yeah, we're all just sitting hanging out? Like, you got to have a talk with your fiance. You got to be on the same page when it's time for guests to leave.
Absolutely. And my husband, Abe, will do that. He will be like, all right, Miguel's got to go to bed. So y'all got to get out the house.
Yeah, you got to be on the same page.
Do you have friends like that overstay their welcome when they come over and they're like, well, we're here for the next 24 hours. Thanks for having us over. How do you get them out of the house? Call us up 1-844-HITS-961.
1-844-448-7961 or text HITS with your message and send it to 96893.
Right now it's Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars, Die With a Smile.